A third way to reduce stress while you retool your teaching to deal with this crisis is to really consider time. Now, I talked in the last video about how you can alter your use of time, and so can students. But I haven't talked about the amount of time that you expect students to spend on the activities that you generate for them. Much of regular teaching has to do with a limited and defined amount of time that is to be utilized. And that time is really, sometimes it's not enough time, and sometimes you didn't quite have enough to fill it, and so it's about sort of squeezing and expanding your lesson to fit these time frames. Well, with distributed education, with online learning, the students will work at their own pace, and for some students that's fairly quickly, and for other students it takes them longer, just like it does in the classroom. But you're not there to provide alternative activities or to engage students in different ways. So what do you do about that? Well, I think you can take lessons from what homeschoolers have found. And what homeschoolers have found is that the younger students, really upwards of at most 3 hours a day is all the instruction they need in direct instruction or in activities that are directly related to what they're working on. And for older students, it's between 3 and 4 hours a day. It isn't a full class day or full school day required to do that kind of learning when you're learning at your own pace and you're learning individually. So we need to relieve ourselves of the stress of feeling like we need to provide enough work for kids to fill a certain amount of time. And we need to change the dialogue from how much time to what do they need to learn before the next experience, before the next lesson. And it really needs to be about whatever time that takes, and it may not take that long, or it may, for some students, if it's a difficult concept, they may need to refresh and review and look for alternative sources, and they may need some parent help. So time is not the issue. The issue is the learning. And this is a dialogue you need to have with parents, because parents, their common question to students is, did you get your work done? Did you finish your homework? It's about completion of activities. We're not about completion of activities. We are about, do you know what you need to know for tomorrow? Did you learn what you needed to learn from the activities or the lessons you were given today? So changing that dialogue, and for parents to change that dialogue, and then to help students change their concepts, because so many students think of homework as completing a task, which means they open a book, they're supposed to read chapter 3, their eyes scan over chapter 3, and they say they've read it. That's not the point. Do you know what you need to know for tomorrow? That's where the dialogue needs to go. And also, you can consider that many of the activities and challenges you give students can be things that they kind of work on either in a project-based scenario, which is, I think, always a good way to get kids to probe deeper and to kind of move around in a more free-form way, and free in the sense that they can choose to some extent how to address it. And so it could be that, it could be open-ended problem-solving activities, things like that, where the amount of time it takes will vary quite a bit, but it could lead to more and more by giving students deeper work to do. So I hope this has helped. You don't need to stress about giving the students a certain amount of work. You need to think more about changing the dialogue to, have you learned what you need to learn for tomorrow? This is Bret Loucks with Compassionate Education. You can comment below. You can also subscribe to the channel, or if you'd like to just like this video, all of those things help us. Thanks a lot.